The world unfolds differently for each of us. Why? Where do the rules come from? Within each of us, there is a unique philosophy shaping our thoughts, beliefs, feelings, worldviews, and actions. This is Inner Dialogues with Ecem, an introspective space for curious souls and minds. This is where you get to understand your individual philosophy that writes the script of your life. This is where we unveil the inner wisdom that guides you. Yep, that was your inner sage knocking the door. Let's go and chat with him. Hi, it's Ecem. Welcome back to the Inner Dialogues with me. In this episode, I want to focus on the concept of ordinariness. In this amazing book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, he mentions a dialogue happened between his coach and him. He asked his coach, "What's the difference between the best athletes and everyone else? What do the really successful people do that most don't?" His coach mentions the factors like genetics, luck, talent, but says that his coach also shared something he wasn't expecting. At some point, it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day, doing the same lifts over and over and over. I found this statement very humane. We glorify passion as an essential component of continuity when it comes to our dreams and goals. But this glorification creates a false sense of reality where we think that every step we take on the path to our dreams is an exciting, extraordinary, passionate one. Yet the reality is that in order to be successful, however you define success as, in order to be that person in your dreams and in order to achieve your goals, you need a level of mastery. And as James Clear put beautifully, mastery requires practice. And practice means that doing it over and over again, every day, every week, for a long time. It means showing up regularly to perform the same thing. And not every day will be full of enthusiasm. Not every day you will feel the same passion and desire to keep going. Whether you're a dancer, you should dance every day. Not as your best maybe, but in order to be your best in the long run. Whether you're a writer, even though you're not going to publish what you're going to write at that day, you have to keep going. You have to show up every day on your desk and start writing. I love this analogy that Ed Sheeran, English songwriter and singer, shared in one of his documentaries, I believe. From the very first moments he started writing songs, he hasn't stopped writing every day, whether it's a good couple of sentences, phrases, or it is as nonsense as it is, which will never gonna make it into an album. He describes songwriting as a tap. When you open a tap that has been closed for many years, first brown, muddy water comes instead of clear, fresh and flowing one. If you show up every day, you keep that water running, and as it runs, it will clear itself. The first pieces that you're going to write and create are going to be awful, muddy, brown. But that is a key to make them beautiful, touching, easy to write, meaningful and soulful. Keep the tap running. Show up every day. Practice it. Whatever that you're doing. For me, this whole world of podcasts is pretty new, and in order for me to keep the tap running, every day I try to come up with an idea or topic for the next episode. My mind is in podcast mode, if it's a thing, where I interpret conversations, social media contents as possible topic ideas. I write them down as they come to me. Those moments are full of passion and inspiration for me. They're pretty magical, full of enthusiasm and excitement, and they are out of ordinary, the opposite of what I want to talk about today. I don't have a routine every day to sit in front of the computer and start writing sentences, words that can go into the next episode. I don't do that disciplinary work. I live the enthusiasm and passion when the inspiration finds me, and that's it. I create many ideas, but I left them halfway through, giving them actual birth and existence by not showing up every day to practice. Why do I not show up every day? It's challenging. It requires me to gather my thoughts and practice self-discipline. It is boring when I compare to the actual recording moment of the podcast. The end result gives me the satisfaction and enthusiasm to keep going, but showing up every day to practice this writing and so-called podcasting skill is an ordinary work with a very minor enthusiasm. In this beautiful book, The Prosperous Coach by Litvin and Chandler, they say that enthusiasm has a half-life, which means when enthusiasm comes, know that it will fade away. So we should act while the enthusiasm we have for what we are doing is still here. In other words, don't trust your enthusiasm and your passion. They will go away in an hour, tomorrow, in a week, and in a year there will be no trace of it. If an idea visited your mind with an excitement and passion in your heart, then act for it in that moment. And in my case, when the tap is flowing inspirationally, I need to hear it and create an environment where we can flow together with that clear water. In the case of this episode, this topic, ordinariness, came to me when I was doing a guided meditation, which I will mention in a moment. And at that moment, I started writing the ideas that inspired me and further ones that my mind was coming up. And I tried to connect the dots between different ones. But what I also did was that I stopped myself. My self-talk was in the following way. It will take so much time right now, Ecem. Write down everything you have in this moment and you can expand on them in a proper writing session. No, that's not the way. I should have keep going until the tap was dripping, until there was nothing left in that moment from that enthusiasm. If I don't act at that moment where enthusiasm is still so fresh and full, the ideas that enthusiasm brought me and the passion it created to further unfold them will fade away. I will lose the soul behind them and the meaning they have. We over-trust our enthusiasm in a way that we think that it will stay as it visited us for that initial time as when we need it at a later time. We overestimate our enthusiasm when we think about the path that goes toward our goals. We want to write songs to sing to thousands. We passionately dream about it while thinking that enthusiasm and passion we have for our dream will be with us on every step. No, that is over-romanticizing the life. Life has many boring moments. Life thankfully has many ordinary moments which can be boring, frustrating, annoying, draining, or even painful. In that guided meditation that I mentioned you a moment ago, Ecem, beautiful yoga and meditation instructor, said that every moment of our lives do not have to be a big adventure and a deep experience. I will take that a step further. The constant seek for new experiences, deeper feelings, bigger adventures is fed by the idea that we are not complete, not whole, and not enough. It comes from scarcity mentality. Let me repeat it. The need to constantly pursue new experiences, deeper feelings, and bigger adventures comes from scarcity mentality, which tells us that as what and who I am today, I'm not enough. I'm lack. I'm not complete. I need something else to complete me and make me whole. Magic lies in ordinariness. Success lies in ordinariness. Mastery lies in ordinariness. There is nothing out there that can replace the power of ordinariness has. There is no deeper experience or adventure that are more impactful than ordinariness is. That entails showing up. Showing up is the most basic form of being ordinary. Before you sing to thousands, before that deep experience, you have to show up every day, writing one sentence at a time. Before I create a community with people listen to this podcast, I need to show up here every day working with ordinariness, working with when there is a minor trace of enthusiasm. The tap will continue running as long as you keep showing up, as long as you stick what you consider as ordinary. We have to fall in love with ordinary. Ordinary keeps us rooted, reminds our humanity. It creates a safe haven in chaotic flow of life. It creates moments where we can ground ourselves before being dragged by excitement, enthusiasm, love, passion, anger, frustration, all those feelings and experiences that life has to offer us. Ordinariness keeps us sane. It provides mental and emotional balance and serenity. Inside of my mind, there are constant whirlwinds, sometimes tornadoes of thoughts and ideas trying to be embodied and born into existence. They all combine and form a big sandstorm where I cannot see in front of me and gather my mind, where I lose the thread of thoughts and creativity, where I get lost in my mind. My existence is nourished by chaos, although it longs for peace and calm, creativity and serenity. If I don't know how to pour out those big or small thought whirlwinds that want to be born and incarnate, how would I stay insane? Showing them the light every day by just sitting in front of a black canvas and taking brush is all I need. Is all I need to not get lost within myself and within my mind. Sitting, taking your brush, your pen, your body, with whatever you perform, what you're doing, and pouring out. Pouring the muddy water until it gets clear one day. This is ordinariness. Fall in love with ordinariness. We came to existence not to do things. We came to existence to be. Just to be. So be it. Be ordinary, be human, be creative, be insightful. Feel bored, feel pain, feel frustration, feel anger, feel drained, feel annoyed. But remember, as we spoke in the previous episode, we are not our feelings. We are a whole sea where there are constant waves. Feel everything, but do not be eager to feel everything all at once. Do not be in constant deprivation to feel deeper, to feel different, to live different. Feed your wholeness by doing ordinary things. By sticking to your routines, those small gestures, chores that keeps you rooted. Find the joy of and find the joy in ordinariness. I told you this before. I don't like the idea of glorifying pain, misery, in order to validate our current state, our success, our mastery. So I'm not going to say to you to stick with your boredom, stick with your feelings that doesn't feed your liveliness. No, do not stick with them. Do not shrunken your heart to stay with the ordinary. Keep the ordinary as something makes you feel grounded, belonged, whole, more humane. This will require mindset shift, a change in our perspective to be able to see ordinariness as something effective, wholesome, rich, and sustaining. We waste our time and life waiting for the next excitement and adventure to come and makes us feel alive. Aliveness lies in ordinariness. Enjoyment lies in ordinariness. What is ordinary for you? What are the things that you're doing every day? Driving to work? Preparing breakfast? Walking to school? What are the things that you can do every day to nourish and feed you on the path of mastery? What is the magical side of ordinariness for you? For next time when you get excited for your goal, the end product, the destination, use that enthusiasm within that moment to create something with that which will further keep the momentum and traces of passion with you when you're creating the reality of your dreams by showing up every day. What is ordinariness for me? I think the first and also the best image comes to my mind when I think about ordinariness is exploring a new city by walking. Walking is one of the most ordinary things in this life. You get tired, you stumble upon a rock, you see a symbol on a building that reminds you of a literature passion of yours or a loved one. You pass by locals, you witness how they live, go to work, school, you get lost while you walk. There are many things happening as you are walking, as you are being ordinary, staying ordinary. But if you look for the end product, at the end of the day, you explored the city. At the end of the week, you feel more welcomed. At the end of a month, you feel more closer to the locals. A new environment embraced you because you chose to show up every day, ordinarily. Change, in whatever form, a dream, a goal, letting go, welcomed me because I chose to show up. This is ordinariness for me. Until next time, take care and find the peace and nourishment in ordinariness. Find the mastery in practice.